News about the coronavirus vaccine appears with enviable regularity. They are already writing articles and fantasizing about whether it will be possible after a pandemic to let an unvaccinated person onto a plane. And Denmark has already passed a law that allows the government to force citizens to receive the coronavirus vaccine forcibly, although they still do not even know the composition of this vaccine, or when it will be created. But what conclusions can be reached if we study this issue comprehensively? Let's get a look. In 2019, World Health Organization identified antivirals as one of the 10 largest health threats in the world. From that moment, the war with critics of the vaccination system began to pick up steam. In fact, planetary censorship was introduced on this difficult topic. Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of them one way or another took action against vaccination critics. That is, in addition to logical questions about the complications or composition of vaccines, now you can't even think about such a simple and not a bit conspiratorial question, like maximizing the profits of pharmaceutical corporations. After all, maximizing profits is very simple if your vassal is the World Health Organization, and criticizing materials even in the digital age, in the information age, are cut off by total censorship. By the way, many still naively consider World Health Organization the most important global structure that cares about the health of every inhabitant of the planet. But, unfortunately, the reality is very far from such a picture. Back in 2005, the first alarm sounded on a global scale, urging people to flee from the new deadly threat, better known as bird flu. Everyone then spoke of the tremendous speed of spread of the new infection, and World Health Organization insisted on the need to buy vaccines from certain manufacturers. By sheer chance, shortly before that, World Health Organization invited representatives of the world's leading pharmaceutical concerns as advisors and consultants. In addition, some interesting changes were made to the World Health Organization constitution in the 0 years. Initially, the organization could only issue recommendations to the international community. The 2005 amendment allows World Health Organization in emergency situations with the same pandemics to issue not recommendations, but orders, binding on all countries. No wonder some experts today call World Health Organization part of the global government. The criteria that existed previously in the World Health Organization documents, for example, such as the percentage of deaths among infected people, allowing to declare the emergence and spread of the pandemic virus, were also removed. That is, since then, World Health Organization itself has begun to decide whether a pandemic has begun or not. Then there was the next scam. About $18 billion. Pharmaceutical concerns earned such profits on the swine flu brand. The panic was staged to make people afraid. The theater with the closure of kindergartens and schools. The ban on mass events began in Mexico, although even there the government and people already in May 2009 realized that in fact everything was not so scary. But just at that moment, World Health Organization announced a pandemic, and the process began to take place on a global scale. At the same time, there were those who were against. At one of the World Health Organization meetings in Geneva, representatives of dozens of countries around the world declared their disagreement with the announcement of the pandemic. World Health Organization then took a pause for reflection, but did not change its decision. European countries have purchased a huge amount of vaccine, most of which has never been used. As a result, France delivered 91 million of the 94 million doses to World Health Organization for transmission to developing countries. UK 60 million doses. Germany and Norway did the same. Why such generosity? It is possible that the shelf life of the vaccine was drawing to a close, or perhaps side effects were detected. It is not important that this is important, but that the third world states, as they say, are not used to it. In 2004, the southern states of Nigeria had already boycotted the vaccination imposed on him. Vaccine samples were tested by the Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, Nigerian Dr. Haruna Kane, and it turned out that the vaccine contained estradiol, a form of the female hormone estrogen. In general, it led to infertility. Something similar already happened in the 70s of the last century. The Rockefeller Foundation, together with World Health Organization, funded research on tetanus and other vaccines for poor countries. We have already talked about this in this issue, but fast forward to our day, and we note one such interesting fact. The development of a vaccine against coronavirus began long before the epidemic. The British American Tobacco Concern in 2013 accepted a new member of the board of directors on the board, allegedly for scientific research.